We are taught that success comes from grinding, from pushing, from never stopping. But what if we've been deceived? What if everything we chase is running because we chase it? What if the key to manifesting everything we desire is to stop, to breathe, to let go? The ancient Stoics knew something we've forgotten in our chaos, that the universe yields not to force, but to stillness. This is not surrender, this is command. And in this silence, in this calm, we do not lose power, we find it. The storm within, understanding the nature of control. We live in a time of constant motion. We're told that we must do more, be more, and achieve faster. But with every frantic step, we move further from ourselves. The Stoics, those ancient guardians of inner peace, spoke clearly. Focus only on what is within your control. Epictetus, once a slave and later a revered teacher, taught that our suffering comes not from events, but from our judgments about them. It's not things that disturb us, he said, but our opinions about things. So what happens when we hold the belief that we must hustle, strive, and force the world into submission? We suffer. We destroy our peace with expectations. We become enslaved to outcomes. Yet the Stoic finds freedom not by bending the world, but by bending themselves. To relax is not to give up. It is to return to that which we can control, our thoughts, our actions, our responses. And when we do this, something miraculous happens. The world starts to follow. The discipline of stillness, relaxation as mastery. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, commanded legions yet reminded himself daily, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. We are not advocating laziness or indifference. No, we are advocating mastery. The kind of mastery that allows a man to sit in silence while the world burns around him and not be consumed. The kind of mastery that does not beg, does not plead, but waits with the calm assurance that what is meant to come will come. There is a stillness that is more powerful than action, a silence more commanding than a scream. When we truly relax, not from apathy, but from understanding, we send a signal to the universe, I do not need, I am whole. And in that wholeness, all things are drawn. Emotional alchemy, transforming destructive states. Desire, fear, envy. These are the poisons of modern man, and they are also the enemies of manifestation. A Stoic does not manifest from lack. A Stoic does not create from chaos. The fire must be contained before it warms, otherwise it burns. Seneca, who lived through tyranny and betrayal, wrote, "He who is brave is free." But bravery is not loud, it is not reckless. It is the quiet defiance of destructive emotion. It is saying no to panic, no to despair, and yes to the long path of virtue. We cannot create what we want until we become what we seek. The world reflects not our words, but our inner condition. To manifest peace, we must be peace. To attract power, we must be powerful, not in dominance, but in self-mastery. The paradox of letting go. Letting go is perhaps the greatest challenge in Stoicism. It is the act of releasing what we crave most and trusting the logos, the rational structure of the universe, to return what aligns. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, lost everything in a shipwreck. And from that loss, a philosophy was born. He said, I made a prosperous voyage when I suffered shipwreck. Letting go is not defeat. It is the ultimate act of strength. When we stop trying to force outcomes, we make room for providence to work. This is not wishful thinking. It is the realization that our grip often strangles the very thing we seek to hold. We become magnets when we no longer grasp. We become light when we no longer chase. Relax, trust the process, and understand that time is not your enemy. It is your servant. Manifestation through virtue. The Stoics believed that the good life is not found in possessions or outcomes, but in virtue, courage, temperance, justice, wisdom. And yet, when we align with these, something remarkable occurs. Life begins to reflect our inner order, like attracts like. The man who walks with courage draws courageous allies. The woman who embodies calm draws peace into her life. Virtue is not just moral philosophy, it is metaphysical magnetism. When we become aligned with reason, with discipline, with the divine law of nature, we cease to beg the universe for crumbs. We become the source. Modern science meets ancient wisdom. Even modern psychology echoes the wisdom of the Stoics. Studies in mindfulness, cognitive behavioral therapy, and flow states confirm what Epictetus taught centuries ago, that perception is everything. CBT, which traces directly back to Stoic thought, teaches us to challenge irrational beliefs and regain power over our reactions. It is the practice of mental clarity, and with clarity comes control. Manifestation, as it is often misunderstood, implies magical thinking, but the Stoic sees it differently. Manifestation is not metaphysical entitlement, it is psychological alignment. We do not summon things, we become the kind of person to whom those things naturally flow. Building the inner fortress. The Stoics spoke often of the inner citadel, a fortress within, immune to the world's madness. This is not metaphor, it is a blueprint. When we relax, not out of laziness but through intentional calm, we retreat into that citadel, and from there we rule. We do not react, we respond. We do not grasp, we receive. We do not crave, we create. And slowly, without panic, the world begins to mirror our composure. The storm's quiet, the path clears, the fruit falls. Final reflections, the way forward. So here we are, a generation addicted to urgency, rediscovering an ancient truth. That power does not shout, it whispers, that the strongest among us are not the loudest, but the stillest. To relax is to reclaim your sovereignty. To let go is to step into alignment. And to wait, with discipline, with virtue, with unwavering calm, that is the way of the Stoic. That is how we manifest. The world will come. But only when we stop chasing it like beggars and begin to walk like kings. Relax, and everything you want will come, not when you panic, but when you become ready. Not by force, but by becoming the kind of soul it cannot resist.